my little fellow house of gingerings. We're all gingering together today. This is part 2. Part 1 was going long, and I know our attention spans are so short these days. I don't blame you. February 2021. Real short and sweet, get to the point very soon. We are in America. We still have our freedoms, our freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to gather. Because Lord knows a lot of people did in 2020 to the detriment of other people. Didn't we though? Yes. Yes, I did. But we're focusing on the White House now. And the White House has determined some values for us. I'd like to tap in. Tap in with me, shall you? Shall you? Let's tap in together. Ready? Ready? Boom. Our values. Okay, I know. I digress. I went to this article first because at the very end, it's about respect the rule of law. And act consistently with our values. Now, our values, as we tapped in just a minute at the end of the last video, our values seem to be the thing that we regard that something is held to deserve the importance of. Okay? Black and white, plain as day, dictionary on Microsoft Bing, the world we live in. Ta-da! There it is. Okay? Value, according to its generalized definition. Okay? There it is. Respect the rule of law and act consistently with our values. Now, let me tap back up. Tap, tap, tap. Fact sheet. This was the President's executive actions restoring America's place in the world. I didn't think we lost our place. I'm sorry. Did we tap out? Did we say, bye-bye, world? We're going to take a break. We're taking a break and we'll come back and we'll see you. Okay, bye-bye now. Bye-bye now, bye-bye. No, we didn't tap out. We stayed in. We're still here. Hello. Where the frick have you been? Did somebody take a vacation to Russia? Let me tell you, that place looks gorgeous. Architecture, history happens. History happens. Her story happens. History and her story happen. Yes, I had a cute little song in the last video. If you missed it, tap in, tap back out to this one. History, her story, they all happen. Swallow whatever pill you want. You can't wash it away. Beautiful video by Tori Gentleman, former history teacher, Sir John Hayes. I recommend it. Tap into that video. Up, up, up. Helps if I push the right buttons. So, that's a video to tap into to get a little heads up. Tori eloquently dismantles blah, blah, blah. Right? Go for it. Barack says something too. Says stuff about it. Just screaming down the other person isn't exactly saying or doing jack squat. Hold your breath. We're almost there. I tapped into the sparring. This, yawn, is not sparring. This is oddly smiling at a press briefing. Like, who does that? Who smiles at a press briefing? Oh, she does. Why? Because everybody's nice. Ugh. Press briefings are 5 times more fun when you're sparring. Come on now, people. You know you're going to miss that action. All right. Fact sheet. Fact sheet executive actions. Restoring our place in the world. Because apparently we tapped out. America is back. Look at us. We tapped out. When did, again, someone please. When did we tap out? I don't remember that. I don't remember that wrestling match. We were in the whole flipping time. There's some really pretty videos. Yes, I have weird jaw issues. Move on. Of a president visiting with the queen. There's some really interesting, nice, whatever you can call them, videos of a president visiting the Pope. President visiting Jerusalem. Whatever your feelings on that are, I don't care. I'm just pointing out there are videos to be found. Nobody tapped out. We've been here the whole damn time. Nobody fell asleep in 2016 and took a freaking nap. I might have. But nobody else did. At the White House. The White House still existed in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. And guess what happened? We were still in the world at large. You know, give me a break. So, strengthen our nation. Super. Get busy. Put us back to work. Put us back to work. Open everything up. I know. You're like, Ginger, slow down. Ginger, it's only February of 2021. Slow down. Take a step back. Okay. Hands off the keyboard. It is cold. And I don't know how I'm going to pay my heat bill. I live in a funky neighborhood. So if people keep on not working, not having a livelihood, not having a way to go roam about the cabin, because they're getting cabin freaking fever. Oh, that happens. Let me tell you, I do not envy those cruise ship people one day. Because I've had the good fortune to be on a cruise. I've had a portal once, and I had an interior once. Portal over interior any day. Woulda, coulda, shoulda afford it. Wish I could, but I can't. Balcony. Oh my god. Those people were so lucky in the crisis. Oh, yes. So I got to step outside and get some fresh air. Because can you imagine being locked in your bedroom all damn day, every day? Try it. Just give it a try. I mean, if you're home and you're having to quarantine still, I'm sorry. If you're having to not go to work, I feel you. Because you lost your job due to COVID, I feel you. But I'm gonna stick with this video thread, which is the focus of our values right now. Because you know what else is a crisis in the world? Sex trafficking. You want somber? Let's get somber because It's 2021. We don't consider it, do we? Yes, we see it in the movies. We know it happens in other places. But if you've not watched the news lately, you're under a rock. A rock. 2 words. A rock. I mean, these are just the facts, people. Around the globe in 2018, 7,500 human traffickers were convicted. 4.8 million victims. Oh, they are not all just from the Pacific. They are not all from Asia, people. No. All right. Gets grosser. I know. By state. I'm embarrassed that Florida's on the list. The highest rates of human trafficking. Nevada, Mississippi, Florida, Georgia. I don't want to read more personally because I want to stumble back to our values. I would like to advise you that the White House clearly affirms that we have values. And the White House is the one that thinks they're going to set the precedent for our values. So, here we go. President Biden has signed executive actions to combat climate change. Are we the worst offenders? No, look it up. A reversed. It's not a Muslim ban. Let's be very clear about this. Let's be very clear about this. It's not a religion ban on people who practice a certain type of religion that can't hop on a plane and get over here. It's certain countries that were banned from flying over here because those particular countries always seem to put said wrong people, according to the factual statistics, not the right people flew on the planes to come over here and cause atrocities. Now, what atrocities did they cause? I'm sure you don't know how far to go to look for that. Let's. What countries were banned from? Thank you. Thank you, bingity bingity. So, according to USA Today, helping us out here with this quick stat, 8 countries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can count. That looks like 5. Apparently, we have to click. Click the bait. Sudan. Why? State sponsor of terrorism. Iraq. Why? Significant terrorist presence. Chad. Why? Has been a U.S. ally in the war against Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State-affiliated Boko Haram. Yet the terrorist threat that has been sufficient has been sufficient to warrant travel advisories by the State Department and Britain's Foreign Office. Oh, so it's not just us. Super. Good to know. Didn't want to be biased. Iran. The Shiite majority republic, blah, 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 blah. Primary nemesis is the Middle East. Accuses Iran of supporting the brutal, I can't talk, of Syrian President Bashar Assad. Well, Bashar Assad is apparently not a nice guy. So, okay, look those up. Libya. Wow, Libya's got some oil reserves. Fascinating. They've been locked in a civil war trying to overthrow Muammar Gaddafi. That man's been around forever. Goodness gracious. So that outs Libya. Oh, FYI, Libya? Yeah, there's not a lot of freedom going on there either. North Korea. Well, that's not a surprise. Somalia. What's wrong with Somalia? They have been in a state of civil war for decades. Who knew? Syria? Also, they've had civil war issues. Blase. Problematic. Venezuela. Well, that's not a surprise either. Yemen. Okay. I think back in the day there was something with them in a tanker. So yeah. There we go. We banned some countries. Crisis. Why? Well, according to this, because there's terrorists. For the most part. Everybody's on civil warring. So, I mean, if everybody's civil warring, everybody was kung fu fighting. No, civil war. The North and the South clashed. I'm sure you can watch videos about our Civil War, especially the reenactment ones. Lots of documentaries by a so-called Ken Burns. Did a fairly good job. Trying to act a little too woke for me at this point in life. But nonetheless, don't want to be canceled. Who can blame the poor man? How he makes his living. Documentaries. Documents the history and the first story that we all have a story to tell. Stop it, opera girl. I know, right? Anywho, so one must adjust. Back to it. Back to our I'm in the wrong article. I'm in the wrong world. Reducing these xenophobic. Do you honestly know what the hell that word is? Because I mean, honestly. Let's look, shall we? Let's find out this word. Prejudice against people from other countries. Well, I don't know that this is prejudice against other countries because it's more like the other countries, they trying to come at us with, as the Cranberry song would say, with their bombs and their guns, zombies, something like that. Anywho, my point is, whatever. Oh, and ban on transgender individuals serving in our military. First off, have you ever been around, worked with, helped out military? They're like biker gangs. They're so friendly. You just don't see it because they're in a uniform. That promotes intimidation. I get it. Oh, I was scared. But pretty much like a biker gang. If they don't like you, they don't want to keep you in. They will kick you out. Mm. So how does one survive in the military? Now let's think about this for a hot second. If you're a guy and you're in the military, and now that you don't want to go take a shower. With the guys. But the girls don't want you to take a shower with them either. You're in the field. Lucky you don't have your period. Merry Christmas. Let's move forward. So, and then we're going to strengthen Buy American. I think if we haven't figured that out in 2020, we've got problems individually. Because we should buy American. Now, hold your phone. I get it. I just went to the Dollar Tree. But Ginger, the freak, does everything say on the back of everything? Pop quiz. You win. Oh my god. It's not made in the USA. Why is that? Why is that? Well, let's take a step back. Beep, 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 beep. And review. Because back, a couple years back. Keep going. Yes, couple years back, there was this thing called a trade embargo. You, said country, where everything gets made, slapped together, which creates a ton of jobs. Everything then gets shipped on a boat. The boat crosses the ocean and lands on our shores. Back in the day, these people signed that trade embargo. And so did these people. But these people got the upper hand. Why is that? Because they said, we'll create all the crap. And your people will just eat it up. And we do. So sad. And we did. So sad. Then what happened? Fast forward. That guy. Businessman. Business. How business gets done. Looked at some papers. These embargoes. These contracts that we had with other countries. And goes, God, that's the suckiest deal I've ever seen. Hashtag, I'm not making this crap up. Seriously. You tell me our side of the bargain. Pre. was good? You tell me. Go ahead. Because there is proof in the pudding all over your house and mine that there is a ton of stuff not made here. Bricka-bracka, fricka-fracka, every little dicka-decka. I could probably pick up this. I don't know, because there's a sticker on it. But yeah, cute little gold stickers that say made in China. So guess what? All that stuff. Hairbrushes, hair bobs, boxes, paper mache, doohickey, yin yangs, hangamabobs, cheap canvas painted, all that stuff. All that stuff. Stuff that we stuff in our houses and our lives. Purely guilty. I'm not going to throw the stone because it's clearly behind me. Stuff. Stuff. If it's not passed down, we go out, we buy it. Where was it made? Who made it? How did it get here? Who's winning? Who's winning? So, we move forward. Let's move forward, shall we? Sign the executive order strengthening to buy American provisions to help America's middle class. Now, if you were hashtag Oprah, you might have a problem with those words. Why? I don't know. I'm pretty sure she doesn't like the middle class. But that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. You can see my article on that earlier. So, leading with our values, are we? We are leading with our values. Presidential Memorandum on Advancing the Rights of the LGBT. There are so many letters, I don't even understand what they stand for. Do they stand for something back up here? Did I miss something? Oh, yeah, no. Hold on. It's over here. It's over here. And intersect. That's what that stands for. Because, Lord, I don't know. So, what? Leading with our values. Did we look up values? Yes, we did. Look at that. Regarding something that's held to deserve the importance, worth, or usefulness. So, quick question. I'm going to be the first to say, probably, not the last, cross your fingers, that the White House values. I'm going to sit up straight and put my big girl panties on when I say this. Get ready. The White House values in 2021 are not my values. They don't represent me for jack squat, clearly. Because I'm none of that. I'm none of that. I have girl parts. I'm a girl. Can't deny the science and the facts. Science, according to my body, was called I Was Born, and yes, I will know. Two things we have in common. I was born with female parts, so therefore, I'm a female. As stated before, God I know you've rolled your eyes and changed the channel. Okay, fine, bye-bye. Your right to do so when you live in America. Where was I? Oh, yes. God created Adam and Eve and they make a baby. If you're not Adam and you're not Eve and you're not making a baby, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't get it. I personally don't. I'm gonna be honest. I don't get it. Now, if you're gonna label me, I'm just gonna have to go with God on this one. But if you decide, again, let me back it up real quick. Beep, 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 beep. And adjust. If you decide #decide. If you decide that the values of the White House are not your values, that's fine. Why is that fine? Because we're not under a dictatorship. We never were. We will not be. Fingers crossed. As long as there are people who are not willing to put up with the crap. Which is why we elect new people up and we kick people out that we don't like and they don't represent us. I am not feeling represented at the White House. I'm just not, because those are not my values. Because I know for a fact that there are worse problems in the world than not being concerned about persons who can't figure out who they are. I don't know. Am I A? Am I B? Am I C? I don't know what you are. You have to figure yourself out. I have to figure myself out. Pretty much I already did. I already told you. Is this taking away? Now here's a real good question. Is this taking away from the actual crisis at hand? Because, let's be honest, you and I, as human beings, do not want harm to be caused to other people. I don't care how I care. It's sad. It's your choice. But that's my opinion, that it's sad. I don't care how your choice happens to be at this exact moment in time. My point is this. Is this Ermiger situation so concerned with a population? Walk with me here. Walk with me. We're so concerned about a population who is dealing with their sexual orientation, gender identity, expression, characteristics, human rights. Human rights. Are you walking with me or walk with me? Keep going. Keep going. Here we go. Human rights. human trafficking is a crime and a violation of human rights. We're tipping. We're tiptoeing through the tulips. Keep with me. Human trafficking doesn't discriminate. Sometimes it's men. Most times it's women. It is believed that 1 in 5 human trafficking victims are children exploited for begging, porn, and child labor. Now, I get that this is an old statistic, but let's just go with it. Cases reported between 08 and 10, victims were more likely to be white or black compared to Hispanic or Asian. Hispanic and Asian were used for labor. White and black were used for sexual exploitation. So, heads up, people. Whose advanced human rights do you want to care about the most? Because I personally would rather be more aware of the poor child who has an actual issue, who has an actual crisis on their hands, when the last thing I think about being is xenophobic and my true values. The Super Bowl is about to happen. That is a high time. And do we know about this? Are we aware that COVID has made this the possible worst time for children? Possibly the worst. Because 1 in 4 victims around the world I mean, honestly, Google should be ashamed of themselves right now if you want to ask me about that Cracker Jack ad by Google. That's just sad, Google. Get your crap together and get off this article. One in 4 victims around the world are children, and at least 60% of child trafficking victims in the U.S. unfortunately have once been in foster care. The pandemic continues to create these circumstances that don't help these children. 23,500 runaway children reported in the National Center for Something Exploited Children in 2018. That's just here. This is like a U.S. article. Oh, good Lord, when I can find the button. Sorry. All right. So, since people are locked down, they haven't had anybody to call on their behalf because now they're stuck in a place where they can't get out. So, excuse me. How much do we need to care about sexual identification when children are going into and becoming part of a problem so you can imagine what our world is going to look like. It's going to be a pretty hellish place. Because if, oh my God, I even forgot the stat just now. It's so horrific. I don't want to remember it. Where are we at? One in 7 back in 2018. So 1 in 7 back in 2018. Now that we've touched 2020, we can assume 2 out of 7. Why not? It's a statistic. Let's go with it. It's my statistic, but if you think about the general stats, if 1 in 7, 5, 6, 7. So that's 1 person in 7. And then if you go with the stats of now, 2 people out of 7. Those 2 people are hurting. Those 2 people have problems. Yes, we've run long again. But I'm going to say it again. Real quick and real loud. So you don't mistake me when I say it. Because you can see it easily. You can see where I went. So, see where I went. I didn't make it up. So concerned. Are we for people, for climate change, for whatever the hell else we think we're so inclined to care about? That when you click priorities, what are the priorities? They're not my priorities. Because honest to God, climate change is the least of our worries. This, I just did black and white. You can read it. Whatever they were touting in 2020, that's a political movement. That's not given 2 cents to care about. And we already have these. This might be an issue. I get. I understand. We already have these. We live in the United States of America. But you know what we won't have? If you keep on, is they're going to get it all. because they're going to be let in the door and given everything for free. Everything's just going to be handed over to them. Were we a restoration hardware store? Did we have issues? I don't think we did. I don't think we disappeared. We weren't off the scene for the last 4 years. We were very much on the scene. So I'm going to just let you know that these priorities, climate, racial, economy, healthcare, they're always a priority. They're nothing new. I mean, this is whatever that is, malarkey. But these are nothing new. These haven't changed since, I mean, this puppy's new, barking up our new tree. But nothing has changed since 2020 except this monster right here. People were concerned about climate change back in the 60s. Is the world end 12 years later? I also did one on that. No, it has not. In the 60s, we're in the 70s, now we're in the 80s. Oh my God, we made it to the 200s. Yes, 2000s, you can correct me. We made it to the 2000s. From the 1960s, read Time Life magazine, no joke. The 60s covers are all like, climate change. Okay. Have we not overcome yet? Did Martin Luther King not say anything? I had a dream. Did we not walk the bridge at Selma? Did we not have the sit-ins? Did nothing happen? Because people go to school. We all mix together. As a child of the 90s, let me tell you, this upsets me because as a child of the 90s, no, we were good in the 90s. Everything was pretty much hunky-damn-dory in the 90s. Rappers got their way. Let that one land. Yep. Nobody cared who anybody was, racially. If you had the talent and you could do the job, you got the job. I know. You're gonna go off on me. But were you a child of the 90s? Were you born in the 70s? Smooth through the 80s? Danced into the 90s? And if you were, you know exactly what I'm talking about. As far as I knew, we lived in the United States of America and people were being treated quite damn freely. I was in college at the time. I saw how college was at the time. Everybody was equal in the 90s. I don't know what the hell happened since then. Feel free to fill me in. Constructive criticism and helpful information. Don't just spew your hate, because that's not what it's about. We're here to educate and learn. The economy. Well, here's the inequities of the economy. It's called the damn COVID. So get rid of the, well, you can't, because it's a virus. And a virus don't like to go nowhere. So you just have to open up. You just have to open up. I know I'm about to cause an insurrection. God forbid. Healthcare. Well, Merry Christmas. If you have a crisis and you have to go to the emergency room, they will take you. If you live below poverty and you're barely eking by, guess what? There's a program for that. I think it's called Medicaid. And you can get in to a hospital. This This was not affordable to me. This screwed my taxes up one year. This made me lose money. This made people pay out of pocket for things that, no. You know how much it cost me to go get a dental? I don't have insurance right now. Thank you, COVID. I don't have work right now. Thank you, COVID. So now you're going to be like, oh my God, so she just sits home bored all damn day. No, I'm highly entertainable. Trust me, you saw me. I do stuff. I create stuff. I try to make my life worthwhile. Ask your doctor. Ask your dentist. If I need to come in for a visit, how much is this going to cost me? Do you have a payment plan? Because I have fought my doctor that I had to have a need for back in 2018 because of a health situation that I clearly can't afford in 2020. And they're like, no, 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 this is the plan. You have to come in because this is the plan. I'm like, I can't. I can't do it. I'm not coming in for mammogram 1 and then mammogram 2. No, you're not getting 2 out of me. You're going to take it at one time, and that's how it's going to be. And it works. You have a conversation. You're very honest. You're very open about things. You don't sit there and yell at them. I was like, my hands are tied. I'm like, I get it. Your hands are tied. You're the doctor. You have to go according to the healthcare needs that were laid out, the laws of the land that were laid out, not by the damn White House, but by your company that you work for, the care system that you're in. You can negotiate things. You can navigate through these things. I mean, our damn taxes are harder to navigate than a healthcare system. Personally, I don't even know how to do taxes. But that's another story for another time. Because they're supposedly easy. I have paid people to help me do it. That was that Green Square? Those Green Square people. It's not that hard though, so I recommend trying on your own. Can't hurt. Um, I mean, I always get help. It's been people I trust or the Green Square people eons ago, and I'm not promoting them. I'm just letting you know, Anywho, um, it's broken and chaotic because they come in mass quantities to the border. You remember the buses? They were busing their children here. Busing their children here to get here. There's a caravan. Nobody's talking about this caravan that's coming either. We'll get into that later. And this, I'm sorry. I'm gonna back it up here. Let's read this word backwards. Economy, ours sucks. Global. Well, theirs sucks too, because everybody's dealing with the COVID. Succeed in a global economy. Well, we hope to, don't we? Yes, we do. I would like to succeed in an economy, local or global. I'm not prejudiced. For the American middle class. Now, I'm going to say this once. That seems a bit biased. Rights, human rights, values, America's values and human rights. Somebody's going to champion those? Huh. Nobody's championed those before? Huh. Well, this just gets weirder and weirder, don't it? Damn rabbit hole that we're going to keep on going down. I'm sorry, but we didn't go anywhere. There's nothing to restore. All right. Thank you for visiting with us at the House of Ginger. The White House. Not my values. Not my values. Because those values mm, 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 mm. Mm, not my values. I can't find the page now. The irony of I just went over this stuff and I can't find the page. But long story short, pay attention to those around you who might be hurting. Because right now, the big crisis, the hidden crisis, is the human trafficking situation. It's a fact in Florida, unfortunately. It's when they're trying to cut off at the knees, the ankles, the toes, when it comes to this upcoming Super Bowl weekend. But you can pay attention wherever you are. Watch out for those who need a champion, who need someone stronger than they are. It's probably you. You're probably stronger than they are. You probably have a better moral compass. And they're just floundering. And they're floundering hard. Like a fish out of water. And all you can do is, to the best of your ability. So if it feels intimidating, make a phone call. It can be anonymous. If it feels questionable, okay, check. Think about it. It's okay. If you're not sure, you're not sure. But if your gut instinct screams, you listen. Trust me. You can lose your gut instinct. You can also get it back. That's the beauty of it. But you can lose it. But it takes a while to get it back. So if you got your gut instincts, you trust your gut instincts, you go with your gut instincts. They're usually never wrong. So be a champion for someone. Watch out for the little guy. Actually lift up your fellow man. Child of the 90s. All I saw was equality. I would love to know what the trip happened. But we're here to love one another, to not whitewash out history or her story. Adam and Eve make the baby. And I'm sorry, but the moral clause and the moral compass at the White House is not, it's not my value system. I can't help that you can't identify. When there are more people hurting in this world right now, that's not a priority. It's actually hurt. It's hurt the feminine movement. Oh, yes. Yes, it has. It's hurt the other movements. Yep. See where the focus is. See where the gloves come off. This is the House of Ginger. These are the difficult things we need to talk about. Hashtag difficult things. Must be discussed. Your opinion, my opinion, are allowed. Why? Because we live in the United States of America. And in the United States of America, as of February 2021, we have freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom to gather. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for listening. If you like. If you want to subscribe, super. That way you'll know when I post. Maximum, I do my best. Minimum, I get 3 out a month. And of course, when the spirit moves you. So thank you for joining along the ginger ride. Choo-choo! It's a ginger train. No, I don't have good music for that. I really don't. But I will let Tony take us out. Y'all have a good night. Thank you again for your time.